What's going on, guys? Austin here from Benro Productions, and today I'm going to talk about my first ever wedding and how I shot it all by myself. Now, in early January, I actually shot a wedding for a couple named Kyle and Sasha. Great couple, great people, and I shot this as my first wedding. I offered it to them because I really wanted to get the experience of shooting a wedding because I want to do more wedding shooting in the future this year. And so I got the job and I gave it to them for free because it was just my first wedding. I wanted to be able to just have the experience and have the video to show to other couples in the future on what I could do and what I was able to capture. Now here's a list of everything I used for the wedding and how I got it. So I already had my Canon T6i 18-35 f1.8 from Sigma, my Rode Videomic Pro, my key light that I'm using right here, my Zoom H4n, which I'm also using at the moment, a tripod that I'm using right now, and that was right about it. That's about all I had to use before I asked and bought stuff. Next, I asked my friend Michael Davis, who I will link down below. His channel is awesome. Go check him out. He's a new YouTuber. But I asked him to use his Canon 77D, which shot at 60 frames a second in 1080p, which my Canon T6i did not do at the time. And then I also rented a 70-200, which I would use to shoot straight down the middle from the back of the ceremony to make sure I can get a close-up shot of the couple and not have to be very close. All I needed now was a little bit more audio equipment because I knew I'd need a lav mic. I didn't have one, so I got a Zoom H1 and a lav mic for a pretty good price, and I got that to use for the officiant to try and see if I can pick up audio from the couple also on that, which I will talk about in a second. Now it's time to start the wedding. I get there early. I start getting some establisher shots of the place. It is now time to go and get some shots of the bride getting prepped, and then get some of the detail shots, and then get the groom and some of his detail shots. And so I started in the bride prep area where they were getting everything prepped, doing makeup and hair and all that stuff. And then when the photographer showed up, we went and did some detail shots of the shoes and the rings and all that stuff, and the dress, and then the groom's shoes and his tie and watch and all that stuff. And I just got different angles, different movements that I could find, different focus pulls and all that kind of stuff. And so we got those shots, and now it's time to get some groom prep stuff. He finished up with his tie, his watch, his jacket, and all that stuff at the site outside, and it looked really good, and I got some slow motion shots of that. And now it's time to shoot the ceremony. Now for the ceremony, audio was a little bit of a funny situation. If you hear the audio in the wedding, which if you haven't seen the wedding yet, by the way, go check that out. Link will be down below. Check out that video and really see what happened so that you can understand what I'm talking about here. But the audio wasn't that great because I had to use my Rode Videomic Pro as the main audio source for the vows. And the reason for that is that my H4n I couldn't plug into the board because he had no more spots and I didn't have a splitter, and so that was out of the question. I also put the Zoom H1 on the officiant, but for some reason, because of distance or because of wind or whatever else, it was pretty much unusable. So that's out of the picture. Now I only have my Rode mic, and I had to do a lot of editing and post with it to try to get it to sound decent, and I did the best I could. That's all I had to work with. Use what you have, because unfortunately things do go wrong. After that, I went and got some B-footage shots of the couple, the groomsmen, the bridesmaids, all that kind of stuff. And then the reception came. So what I did is I took one of my tripods and I put the Zoom H4n and I screwed it on the top and put it right in front of the speaker, and it actually ended up sounding pretty decent. If you listen to it, it wasn't terrible. It was just the speaker sound from them using the mic for the speeches. And then from there, all I needed was some footage of dancing, and I had my little light that I borrowed from a friend of mine that I had at a warm color temperature that I kind of shot down at the dance floor to give it a little bit more light. Still didn't really help that much. It was still pretty noisy, but I needed to do something. And so I did that, and that's pretty much the wedding. I want you to know, if you are getting into wedding filmmaking or you want to try to shoot a wedding, it's really not that bad. And you don't even need all the stuff that I used. And I didn't even use everything that I brought. I would suggest, if you're doing it by yourself, get a second camera. One camera, I don't think I would have been able to manage to get the shots that I needed. That was very essential. But if you can get two cameras, maybe a telephoto lens and a wide lens, and some microphone stuff if you can, and some tripods, and I think you'd be good to go. All of that gear that I talked about will be down in the description, including the stuff that I also have now, like my GH5 and so on. So check the links down below. If you do click them and you do buy something from those links, they do give me a little bit of commission. I just want to let you know that, and it does help me out a little bit if you want to do that. So thank you in advance. Remember to stay creative, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.